All right, y'all, day 22. I don't know if you seen my video yesterday, but if you haven't, stop right now and go ahead and watch that. Yesterday is when I sold my calves. Today I wanted to bring you guys a profit loss video. I want to be transparent with you guys. I've said that from the very beginning with my costs and everything like that. That's what I have on this board. This is my wife's mommy school board for our daughter. So there's some school stuff on there. I didn't have great chalk, so you probably can't read much of it, but we'll get a nice close-up, and I'll get a couple times I'll grab the camera and show you guys so you can get a better idea. So we ended up selling our calves yesterday. I'll give you kind of a debrief if you haven't watched the video yet. We sold 6 of our calves. Sorry, we sold 12 of our calves. We have 15 total. We ended up keeping 3 behind, 2 that were just too small to go, and 1 that had a little bit of a lump on her, kind of her bag, on her tits, basically. So we went ahead and kept her behind to see if that gets better. We think it's because of just those calves sucking on each other. I think it's just irritated. And so we're going to give it about a month and see if it doesn't go down a little bit. All right, so before we get started, like I said, we sold 12. And this board represents the 12 that we sold. I bought some a month ago. 6 wean calves a month ago. We sold 5 of those. And then we sold 7 of our calves that we raised from when they were babies back from December, January, and February. So this goes off of everything that I've spent. So the corn would be some of those calves. You know, this milk replacer wouldn't be those other 6 calves that I just bought a month ago. But I still put all that in here so you guys have an understanding of what I went into it with, and so on and so forth. So first things first, let's jump to this page. If you haven't watched the video yesterday, I'll just kind of give you a debrief. Sold 12 calves, 6 heifers, and 6 steers. The heifers averaged 357, and the steers averaged 377. So I was pleased with it. Some of our bigger heifers weighed 470, and the smaller end weighed 300. On the steers, top end of the steers 440, bottom end 302, and the middle was 335. So we're a little bit jumped around a little bit here and there. Let's see here. The average price per head on the heifers was $1,081. The average price for the steers was $1,282. So as you can see, $1,160 was how much I made per head for all the animals, and that's from the big end to the small end. Add the total price of $13,921.48. Divide that by 12 and you get $1,160 a head. So with that knowledge, let's jump into the video. So we're going to start with some of our expenses. And I want to say this. Our expenses came out to $2,999. I went ahead and put it at $3,200 for my numbers, just to make sure, hey, if I miss something, extra $200. So, milk replacer, we ended up buying 7.5 bags. I got it on sale from Baumgart's when they were running their 20% off sale. So we ended up buying 7.5 bags, and that cost was $577. I weaned all these calves at 60 days, and so I'm probably going to do the same thing. Actually, I weaned some of them 55 to 60 days. Some of them were 70. But I think going into this year, we're going to be weaning at 60 days. That's my plan, to cut down on that cost, because that's one of my bigger costs. Vet bills, we vaccinated 3 times. You know, so those 6 head that we just got a month ago, we hit them with a Pyramid 5, so they had 1 round, and same with all the other ones. But beforehand, we gave them 2 rounds before that, so they've had a total of 3 rounds, $900. I think it came out to like $75 a head. For our corn, we ended up getting 5 loads of our cracked corn. They were a ton, so we bought 5 tons. That total came out to $1,330. Creep feed, I think we bought 5 bags of creep feed when those calves were first starting to learn how to eat creep feed. It was around 90 days when I started doing about 75-25 creep feed to corn, and then kind of as the week progressed, it was more 50-50, 75-25, and then I think by about 105 days, they were strictly on corn. And I wasn't feeding a lot because, you know, that fourth stomach's not developed yet, so they're not really digesting it a whole lot. And so anyways, that's what we did. Corn was our biggest expense, but that's the gainer right there. So creep feed, $72. The alfalfa and hay we used, we'd give them a little bit of a flake here and there. I can't remember exactly how many bales. I think I used 5 alfalfa bales. Little square bales, just a half of a flake to those calves in the winter, and they were chewing on that. And also 1 big bale of hay for bedding and stuff like that. So $105 there. Salt block and mineral, we used right out 1 bag of mineral, and we buy it in bulk, so it was like $9. And then the salt block, $6 from the Baumgars. So we got a total of $15 there. I'm pretty sure this is exactly what we had spent on. I tried, trying to think of little things here and there that we spent, bottles, stuff like that. I didn't add that in there, mainly because it's an investment, you know what I mean? And so I'll be using that this year and so on and so forth. But these are mainly our expenses. Some expenses I could have put in there, but I didn't. Grass, they were on 5.5 acres. And then probably the last month they were on 11 acres. But all that grass is mine. I own the ground, so I didn't end up putting that in there. But you probably could have added that in there if you had to. But I kind of just put that total dollars that I make off of them into my expense to pay my land payment. So that's why I do this, is to be able to help pay for my land payment. So that total of all the bills came up to $29.99. I ended up putting that $3,200, and so that means, excuse me, our calves all in going to the sale today as I'm driving there, they cost me $841. So if I make $842, I make $12 profit. But like I said, $1160 is what they brought at the sale barn, all combined. Let me just add that up. I wrote it down, but I can't really read my handwriting. We have $1160 here minus your $841 is $319. So I ended up making $319 a head on all these calves. So do that times 12. I made $3,828 running these bottle calves all year. And some of you might be like, it's not that much money. If you can make $300 a head on any animal, you're doing something good. So I was pleased with that. And another thing that we kind of have to take into account is those calves that I kept. I still have probably 1,000 pounds of corn left that those calves will use for the next probably month or two before I take them to the sale barn. And for them calves, I'm not even taking into account the milk replacer, the vet, corn, creep, because I did that for all these calves. These calves won't be getting any more expenses on them unless I have to take them to the vet, to get that little pocket fix or something like that, which, like I said, I will put that into account. So, hypothetically speaking, if we're in all of our calves $575 from buying them, and I have 3 over there, and say, we'll just lowball it, say $1,100 a head. Minus, we'll do $1,100 a head minus your $575. That's $535 profit off those calves. Times 3 is $1,600. So you do that times plus your $3,800. From this, excuse me, that's a total of $5,400. And that's a good chunk of change for little bottle calf project. Kind of give you guys a walkthrough of this so you can see it up close. And before we move on to kind of what I want to go into next, I just want to explain to you guys, so let's just say I use the $29.99 and then I don't use that extra $200. That brings my total up to, I think, $324. Sorry. And so that puts me at right at $4,000. And once I sell those calves, it's going to be $5,600. So as you can see, there is money to be made in bottle calves this year. I think next year, my goal is to get that number of, let's see here, 841. If I can get that right around $800, I think I would be in really, really good shape. Because the market's high right now. You know, even if I sell those calves, if I get my prices down to $1,000 and my calves sell for $1,000 and my expenses are $841, I'm making 160 bucks a head, which for me, I think it's still worth it. But anyways, guys, I hope you guys found that interesting. I want to do this every year. I'm also going to be doing it with my yearlings as well once we get them sold. But some key takeaways that I have from this bottle calf project is I was very heifer heavy this year, as in I had 6 steers and 9 heifers. And let's just go back to the sale ticket. Yes, the steers weighed a little bit more, but on average, the steers brought $199 more per head than the heifers. And so you just do that, and if I would have had, say, 12 steers, I would have made over almost close to $200 more a head, which is another 1,200 bucks. And so going into this year, I'm going to be doing a lot more trading of bottle calves. And what I mean by that is, last year I bought a total of 23 bottle calves, but I only ended up keeping 12 of them. I had lost 2 of them. Sorry, I kept 11 of them, and I lost 2, so I had 9, and I bought these other 6. But all those other calves I didn't have, I ended up reselling for a couple hundred dollars, and being able to cut that price of the calf that I get almost down 100, 150 bucks, which is awesome. Say I buy 5 calves for 400 bucks, and I say, well, out of the 5 calves I bought, I only want the 3 bull calves. So I post them online on a group chat on Facebook or on Nextech or something like that, and I say, hey, I have 2 heifer calves for sale for $500, and someone buys it for 500 bucks. Well, I just made 200 bucks, and I can deduct that from my actual bottle calves. Let me just do the math on that. So what would that be? 200 divided by 3 is 66 bucks. So now those steer bull bottle calves cost me 340 bucks instead of 400. There's my $40 that I'm trying to save next year. And so, like I said, I'm going to be very bull, steer, whatever you want to call them, dominant next year. I talked to my wife. I think I want to try to buy 30 total bottle calves, and try to have about 20 to 25 that I keep. You know, and who knows, maybe I try to flip some more. But you have to, it's very weird because you have to be on your phone a lot, making sure you're very on top of it. So that's one thing that I'm going to try to do more this year. Lastly, what I want to do this year, learning from last year while I'm jumping into this year, is I bought the majority of those bottle calves I sold today that weighed about 300 pounds. That steer weighed 335. Those were end of January born calves, early February. I think there was 2 heifers in that tiger stripe calf that was, almost fell down. They were born February 6th, I believe, maybe February 5th. And what I need to do is try to get more calves closer to the end of November, December, January. The one big heifer calf that weighed the most and the one big steer calf that weighed the most, they were December 23rd calves. And they weighed 470 and 440. And so it's one of those things where, yeah, it's a little bit longer, but once you get them off the bottle, they're pretty easy, you know. Crate feed them, water them, give them hay. Once the grass turns green, let them out and feed them corn. I mean, at the end of the day, it's pretty easy. Yes, you have to spend more money on the vet bills for vaccinating. I think it's important to vaccinate those bottle calves at least 3 times. At least twice. I'm going to say that. At least twice. But anyways, guys, I'm going to quit rambling on there. let me know if you found this interesting or not. I like making these videos. I like being very transparent. I try to use every single thing I can think of, even down to the salt block. I mean, it's one of those things where I want to be transparent with you guys. I want you guys to come along the ranch life with me and learn how to do what we do. So anyways, guys, I'm going to end it there. Really fun video today, being able to talk to you guys about this. Really fun yesterday, being able to sell them and see kind of the fruit of my labor. So anyways, guys, we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.